Okay, I know it's July, but I just couldn't wait any longer. This slim flocked tree just got an elegant winter glow up like you wouldn't believe. And honestly, I don't know if it's a little too much. I've gone full winter elegance. Soft champagnes, touch of sparkle with some deep colour. Think dreamy and just a little dramatic. If you love decorating and you're craving some Christmas magic right now, then you are in the right place. I'm Gemma. Welcome to Festive Glitter and Magic. Let's create something magical. Here's how I took this slim white flock tree into an elegant Christmas wonderland right in the middle of July. All right, I'm going to start with the basics. Fluffing this flocked tree makes sure that it feels full and ready for decorating. Slim trees can look really sparse, especially when they're flocked, because they don't have anywhere near as many tips or branches as a fuller tree. So I take my time pulling out each branch, opening everything up, and creating just a little bit of depth. I'm checking for gaps in the tree. If you can't fill them by manoeuvring the branches and the tips, then you know that they will need filling when you get to ribbons and ornaments. Now it's time for the lights. The lights are already on this tree from last season. If you have a pre-lit tree, then you're one step ahead. But if you need to add lights, now is the time to do it. You need to decide whether you want warm white lights or cool white lights. I like to check my lights, especially when they've been left on a tree from last season. They may have moved in the decorating process or the de-decorating process, and you just want to make sure that they are evenly spread through the tree. I'm starting with these large oversized picks. Now the reason I'm starting with these is because they are quite large with 3 different stems coming off, and it's easier to put them in the tree now than it is once I've started adding ribbon. So with these large stems, I bring them right down the center of the tree. Use the center pole as your guide and twist the branches around to hold the stems in place. Now I'm adding one right at the top just to give a little height and dimension. And I'm hiding the stem by twisting around some of the tips. I love using these picks. Now when you add them at an angle, especially when you use them as part of the tree topper, it allows you to follow down throughout the tree. And you're adding a layer of dimension to the tree without changing the shape. And the beauty of these picks in particular is that the ends are so fine and elegant that it adds just a little bit of movement and your tree shape hasn't changed. You really don't need too many of these types of sprays, especially when you're decorating a slim tree, which is great for the budget. Now I do have smaller picks and sprays and some slightly fun ones, which I'm going to add later once we've added all the ornaments. Now I'm ready for the ribbon, and this is my favorite part. I love decorating my trees with ribbon and adding layers and texture. For this tree, I've got 2 ribbons that I'm going to use. There's this soft green velvet with this hint of champagne shimmer. And then there's this beautiful black glitter ribbon. Now instead of adding random bows or wrapping my ribbon around the tree, I'm going to use one loop for all of my ribbon, and I'm going to swoop it down using 2 swoops at a time. Now I'm starting with the black ribbon to add some depth and layers to the tree. By using smaller loops and just a few swoops for each section of ribbon, it gives the illusion of flow and it doesn't overpower or change the shape of your tree, especially when you're working on a slim tree. Now I'm going in over the top of the black ribbon with smaller sections of this green velvet ribbon. So you can see by using the black as the base, we haven't lost that ribbon, but it's added a layer of depth. Now it's time for a few statement pieces. These larger ornaments are going to add bold pops of shimmer and really set the tone for the tree. When adding ornaments to the tree, I always start with the largest ones first. They are going to fill your big gaps. Now these are all roughly the same size, but I'm going to go in with one at a time because then that's going to allow me to have them evenly spaced. So I don't have as many of these baubles. I can't follow exactly the same pattern as I have with the others, but what I want to do is make sure that they're all connected. I've done it up the top, and so I need to continue that throughout the tree. So next step is to fill the gaps with slightly smaller ornaments. Now I'm using ones that match the black glitter ribbon that I added to continue to add depth. By layering sizes and textures, the tree feels elegant without it feeling cluttered. And you can see that these baubles all have slightly different textures and they're just slightly different sizes. Now this really is where the magic starts to come alive. For a few finishing touches, I'm going to add some more picks and sprays, and I've got a few. I'm going to start with the ones that are very similar to the ones we put in earlier. And then I've got some very simple leaf pieces and some fun curlies. Now these are going to all add texture and dimension to the tree. The beauty of these larger sprays that are very similar to the ones we put in earlier is I can now start to put them where there are obvious gaps. They are going to fill where I haven't been able to put ornaments so far. These beautiful ribbon curly picks add so much dimension. And if you don't like adding ribbon to your tree, they are perfect. Look at the added shimmer and sparkle that these picks add to the tree. It's almost there. We're so close. I'm going to hold off adding those last little fern branches just so that I can add my special glass ornaments. Now, glass ornaments add a whole other dimension to your tree. And I haven't always loved using glass because, well, it's breakable. But the way the light reflects off the glass, even ornaments that aren't translucent, it just takes it to a whole other dimension. I've got quite a few different ornaments here, just a selection of glass, and I'm going to add them to the tree and we'll see what it does. The timeless elegance, the shimmer and the delicate touch that these glass ornaments add just feels right for this tree. Now we go in with some finishing touches, very small picks, just in the gaps, just to add a whole other dimension. So these picks in particular just go into the gaps and add just something final to the tree. And here it is, our elegant winter glow up. The glass and those final picks really elevate the look of this tree, making it one magical, elegant Christmas tree right in the middle of July. I hope this has inspired you to bring just a little bit of frost and elegance and a lot of sparkle into your Christmas in July. Such a simple, slightly pared back theme. It's not too Christmassy, I don't think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you're planning on decorating this Christmas in July. And if you loved this festive makeover, then be sure to subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell because you are going to want to stick around for what's to come this year. Until I see you next time, remember, dream it, decorate it, and then share the magic.